Welcome back to the Palace of Yarn and Thread YouTube channel. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. If this is a return visit for you to the chaos, welcome back. This week, we're going to do a little bit of a podcast episode, and the plan is to see if I can stick to my plan. I have it written down, but I promise nothing. So, we're just going to go ahead and dive on in. For those of you who haven't been here before, this is just my crafty channel where I talk about all the things that I get involved in, the shenanigans that occur, and, well, the chaos that comes from said shenanigans. So, all right. I actually do have one finished object this week, which I pressed myself for. My goal this year is to get at least one pair of socks done per month. And so far, I'm on track. Go me. So my mom and I went to a local yarn store here in Tulsa called Get Stitchin'. The lady that runs it, I've known her for years. She used to be one of my supervisors, and I just absolutely adore her. So hi, Lori. I got a skein of yarn that I let my mom pick it out, and she gravitated towards it, and so that's where it came from. So let me introduce you to her finished pair of socks. This is just a regular, my favorite vanilla sock yarn or sock pattern. Nothing extensive to it. It's just a little bit modified. It's got, I want to say 15 rows ribbed 1 by 1, 30 rows for the leg, a eye of partridge, and this is going to be real blown out, and I apologize. It's got an eye of partridge heel and sock gusset. 48 rows. This is a 64 stitch cast on. Was a mouthful, and a basic toe. But the pink yarn here, it's just some yarn pink I had in the stash. Thank you. Stop licking me. Stop. The dog is actually here today with me down here, and he keeps licking me. But this beautiful colorway is from Woolly Boogers Felt Creations, and it's in the colorway Witchy Poo. So yeah, I actually have this one on a project page in my Ravelry. You can find me on Ravelry at Dark Carnival. Yeah, I'm most everywhere at Dark Carnival, but yeah, my favorite vanilla pattern. Just your basic sock, but they're done. I do still have to block them, but ends are woven in, and they're ready to go. So just gotta get them up a nice block so the yarn can bloom and go from there. So that's the only finished object I have this week. But now we're gonna enter all the WIPS. And I say it like that, like there's a lot to them. There's not. I say there's not a lot, but I'm trying to control the WIPS as best I can. In some cases, I'm a monogamous crafter. In cross-stitch specifically, I'm a monogamous crafter. I will only ever have one project going on because of how I kit things up. I'll show you in a little bit. When it comes to my spinning, I'm fairly monogamous in it because I'm learning it still, and I don't know what I'm doing. So we're just one at a time. In knitting, I typically try to have like a large pattern, like a sweater, and then a small pattern that I can take with me, such as sock knitting or maybe a hat, because I love to knit socks and hats for some unknown reason. And then in my crochet, there's no limit when it comes to my crochet. I usually have 2 to 5 things going for it. Right now, I can safely say I only have 2. Yeah, so the first one I got, I'm not a super big yarn snob. I have a craft room full of acrylic, inexpensive yarns that work for the purposes I need them. I do a lot of craft for my small business, and so a lot of them are made from acrylic yarns, mostly toys and the like. That being said, I had when Caron Cakes came out with all their little cake jelly rolls or cake rolls, whatever they're called. They're like Pokemon cards, and I had to collect them all. Was that a wise idea? Probably not. Did it give me a dopamine boost? Absolutely. Am I using them? Slowly. So I went into the craft room the other day and I just felt the need to want to make another baby blanket. There's no purpose to it. I can sell it. It is what it is. So I grabbed this. I don't know the name of the colorway. It's in the bottom of the project bag, which is hanging on the edge of my table here, so I'm not reaching for it. But just a basic granny square blanket. A whole bunch of pinks and reds and browns and maroons. Nothing super special, just your basic granny square. But so far this is one and I think maybe a half of 2 cakes. So 1.5 cakes so far. It's kind of a mindless crochet. Just if don't want to, put a lot of effort into reminding myself of what a pattern is supposed to be or whatever, this is what I reach for. It's just easier that way. Trying to find a place to put it. So that's that one. I'm crocheting it with a 5mm crochet hook and your basic Caron cake. Nothing special for it. No special pattern. It's just a basic granny. So, yeah. Next, so we all have probably had at some point in our lives, in our crochet, crafty, knitty journey, what do we do with all the extra little tiny scraps of yarn? What I do personally is I make scrap blankets, much like the one behind me. This is a scrap blanket that we've made. My mom doesn't loom knit them. I crochet them. This is mine. Actually, this is Loki's. He thinks it's his, so we're gonna just let him continue to think that, because that's what good moms do. But I am working on another one, and it is pretty big, and I don't know that I can show you all, but I'll give you the basic. It is a corner-to-corner blanket like this one. Corner to corners do work up pretty quickly for me, and that's why I enjoy doing them. But how pretty. It is literally just ends of different worsted acrylics that I've used at some project or another. But they tend to be so pretty. And to me, it's like they tell a story because they have remnants of past projects that I enjoyed making at some point or another. And they, to me, feel very special. And I think that's why I do them. I literally will take all of these small balls that are left that you really can't make anything with, and I'll just go ahead and magic knot them together, cake them up, and just toss one in a project bag. Keep in mind, my project bags are tote bags because I'm basic. I literally, to my name, have one actual project bag that was made for project bag purposes, and this does not live in any of them. I have a sweater quantity of some really nice merino yarn that I got, and it is in an old caboodle bag. Yeah, an old caboodle bag. And I don't care. It's perfect for it. It's just the right size. It's like an oversized duffel, but it's sturdy. The old Joann's shopping bags, that's literally what this lives in. So, yeah. Okay. We're moving right along. And I'm okay with that. So the next one I have, let's go ahead and take a moment to discuss the spinning. Because I've mentioned it, I'm a new spinner. This will be my third ever intentional spun project. It is a bat of wool and silk, merino and silk, I believe it is. The card, unfortunately, is in my bedroom away from me, but I saw this, I guess it's called roving. I don't know all the terms, because apparently people have terms for everything, tops and roving and whatever. I don't get that nerdy into things, I just do them until I can do them well. I got this one at Get Stitching as well. She had a whole display of different ones. There was one up there that was like this beautiful rainbowy type color, reminded me of very much of either My Little Pony or Care Bears, just the color palette of it. She didn't have any more when I went back to actually buy some. But I found this one that said, I believe it's called Storm. I do believe it's called Storm. And I'm trying not to let it get too blown out, but it's got some silvers in it. I don't know if that helps any. Yeah, that's a little bit better. But it's reds and silvers and purples. It's so pretty. I'm drop spindling, because that's all I got is a drop spindle right now. Do I want an e-spinner? Yeah. But let's conquer the drop spindle first. What I did for this is going to be a fractal spin. From my very limited understanding, a fractal spin is where you take a roving and split it in two, and then you can split the one of them into different sections, but leave the other one together and spin it, and then you ply them together. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. Politely correct me in the comments, because I'm learning. You have to be gentle. Now, I will say, if you are wanting to give me tricks, it is hard to just kind of get what someone's saying. YouTube video links, chef's kiss. So yeah. Okay, but so far I've already done the split ones. Now this is the half that I left together. And so far this is what I've got. And there are some spots that aren't as consistent, and that's fine. But this is what we've got so far. And I actually don't mind the drop spindle. There are some nuances to it that I'm not as fond of. I would imagine when something splits apart and breaks, it's easier to spin on a traditional type wheel or an e-spinner or something to that effect. Whereas drop spindles, you got to get a little bit more creative to ply them together. But yeah, I was gonna put that up. I'm not putting that up right now. So yeah, but that's my spin. So this will be my third spin ever, only ever on drop spindle. But so far I'm enjoying it. I did tell myself at one time that I would never spin. But when you start watching the joy and the serotonin boost that you see other people take on when they learn something, and I specifically reference the Table 10 podcast. I love those two sisters. They have this just the greatest bit of chaotic energy, and they love what they're doing. And I believe they started spinning in like November. I started in the end of December, middle December, something like that. But they inspired me to want to do that. And here we are. We're learning. Okay, well, that was finished objects, 2 crochet whips, 1 spinning whip. I do have an ongoing cross stitch whip It is not a traditional pattern. It is just a picture I fell in love with that I found on Pinterest, and I put it into Pick to Pat and created a thing for it. It is massive to this day. It will be the largest piece I've ever worked on. And I've worked on some very large pieces. A little bit of my cross-stitch journey is I've been cross-stitching since I was 8. I am 45. So it is, in fact, the hobby I've had the longest. My mom taught me. I love it. What other hobby can you have where you can stab something thousands of times and not go to jail? Cross stitch or embroidery even. I don't do very well with embroidery. I'll stick to cross stitch. I don't do diamond painting, even though it's the basic same thing. I'm a cross stitcher. I don't do samplers. I don't like them. I don't see the appeal or purpose. If they are your appeal and purpose, more power to you. You can have my side. I am a full coverage cross stitcher, and I'm a monogamous cross stitcher, meaning I will only ever work on one piece. The reason being, get my yarn bowl out of here, is because of how I kit something up. Sorry, I'm over here bumping the camera. So first off, I don't need all the special little baubles and trinkets that people typically fall in love with. Again, I'm basic, and I'm okay with that. Now, there are some merit to some items that are kind of specialties. Needle minders. I love mine. I have a collection of them, and they aren't even things that were started out as needle minders. They are my enamel pin collection that I have crafted into a needle minder. Give me a Dremel and an enamel pin, and I will craft you a needle minder. And these little bobbin type things, I love them. But how I kit something up is we have a supply, an inventory, if you will, of the DMC that my mom has curated over the decades. And that's the main inventory. So when I kit up for a project, I have just your basic box. The lid is currently on the bottom right now, so it's open. It's your basic box. And I will just grab the numbers that I need from the main inventory and put them into here. As I'm finishing or going to zero, they go to the end, and then I put them back. But yeah, I have this project I have currently is so large that it's a box and a half. One of these and a half of all the ones I need. And I had to go buy some more flosses that either I was very low on or didn't have at all. So I have a Star Wars lunch pail on my table full of them, mostly 310 because 310 is a hot commodity. For those that do cross stitch, 310 is black. I think I have all of Tulsa's supply. Sorry. Not sorry. But anyway, I do have I don't use Q-snaps. I don't find the purpose in them. I have just a basic rectangular hoop. I use a steering wheel cover for a grime guard because it is not really for the grime guard purpose. It's just to manage the fabric. So, like I mentioned, this is the largest project I ever did. The one that I finished right before this, I want to say was for my niece, and it says, "In a world full of princesses, be a witch," because that's her aesthetic. It was 54,000 stitches. For a normal cross stitcher, 54,000 stitches is something that you're going to work on for like years, depending on how often you get involved in it. I did it in 4 months. How? I have no idea, but I finished it in 4 months, and it's on her wall in her bedroom in her dad's house. The project I am currently working on is 211,000 stitches. But it's not my only hobby. I do work on it. Therefore, like during farmers market season, I really don't do a whole lot on here. And if I have a big project like a sweater I'm going to gift or something, I tend to not work on it as much. I've been trying lately to do more where I kind of rotate through my crafts. That way everything is getting touched and I'm keeping my skills very warm. And so, like I mentioned, this is not a pattern that's out there. It is just a picture I had converted to pick to pat. But this is where I am. I am 53% into this project. So I started off where I was doing diagonal, like rows, and then parking. Parking is where you just hold a stitch off to the side. And then I stopped doing that for whatever purpose, and now I'm just kind of winging it. We won't look at the back of this because if I ever mention chaos, okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. She messy, and I'm okay with that because she's never gonna get seen by the public like that. So yeah, but my needle minder says I'm practicing dark arts and crafts, and I just adore it. Anyway, my grime guard is a steering wheel cover, like I mentioned. It is a supernatural steering wheel cover because your girl is a supernatural fanatic. I am a Dean girl all the way. Sorry. He's mine, girls. I have a tattoo to go for it too. Anyway, I digress. This one here says, oh, what does it say? I can't remember. Oh, hexing because murder is wrong. There's a theme here. Yeah, hexing because murder is wrong. But yeah, I'm 53% in here, so done. So, you know, out of 211,000 stitches, I've got 53% of them done. Yeah, it is on 18 count. Ada, I don't really go any lower or higher count threads right now for that because it hurts my eyes really bad. I already have to either wear my loops or I got a new magnifying arm that you can probably see right here. That's my magnifying arm. I got it yesterday and set it up. It's taking me a little bit to get used to, and I'm okay with that because anything new is going to take some time, but it's not as magnified as I would want because I'm used to my loops that I can choose my own, adventure. And that one, it's just one basic. It does have a light. It is rechargeable. So, I mean, so far it's not bad. It was worth trying. I'll continue to use it. Anyway. So those are my WIPs. Yeah, those are all my WIPs. Let's talk about my schemes, aka plans. I am currently kitting up for 2 knitting projects, one of which is in my the only purposed knitting project bag that I own. This is a supernatural based knitting bag. Inside of it is so cute. Let's see, it's got like they're conversation hearts, but they have little phrases from the show. And this was made by my best friend Julie of Crafts by Nerdy Love Designs. It's fantastic. I told her I wanted a few different things. I wanted a pull tab so I could put a carabiner on it. That way I can connect it, because if I go like walking, I can connect it to my crossbody and I can knit on the go. And it's perfect because whenever you have it zipped up or open, it's not going to get eaten by the zip. The yarn won't be eaten by the zipper. She included a pocket. That's the word, pocket with a zipper. And she put on a little charm under the zipper pull. It's Baby from Supernatural. If you know, you know. So I love that. So that's my Supernatural knitting bag. It is literally the only actually made project bag that I own. I typically use, if I have more than one like small project, my socks stay in here, and say I'm knitting a hat, it'll go into a cosmetic bag that I may have repurposed. Yes, that's how I roll. Anyway, so I have two colorways of fingering weight sock yarn in this bag. Sorry, I bumped the table, so you just wiggled. In this, I plan to take the vanilla sock pattern because I have like 4 other sock patterns that I've purchased that I could actually try, and no. One was toe up, and I'm not ready for that. I'm just not. I've been knitting for 10 years, and I'm still not ready for that. I like my cuff down, like my sweaters. I like my sweaters top down in the round. Yeah. Anyway, so the two colorways I have in here, this beautiful hot pink, and it is going to get so blown out because it's not that neon, I promise. It is, yeah, that's a little bit better. You can tell there. Yeah. But yeah, this hot pink, I have the name of it inside. If I can try to pull it out, because I have to pull it out anyway. What I do is that whenever I start working, I work from the middle out, but I save all the little things, and then I rewind them. It's a Cascade yarn. Okay. It's Heritage Super 5. Wow. Super Wash Merino. It's 75/25. And highlighter pink. They are not wrong. It is highlighter pink. Okay. I believe I got this at a yarn store in Claremore, Oklahoma. Community Fiber Arts, I believe is the name of that store. Cute little store. Very, very cute. Just not as close to me as I would prefer. So I do go to get stitching more. Unless I am really, really wanting to treat myself. I mean, because let's face it, I love all the yarns over at Get Stitching. I absolutely love it. One of my last projects had, no, I've got a project I'm planning. That's right. I just bought some petunia from, oh my god, I cannot remember. We'll discuss it when I start working with that yarn. How's that? Okay. But anyway, if you're local to the Tulsa area and you need a good yarn store, Get Stitching over at like 58th in Memorial ish, something like that. Anyway, I digress. But I am going to partner that highlighter pink with another fingering weight sock yarn. And this colorway does not have a name. This is my hand-dyed colorway. I do not sell things. I just got a wild hair one day, decided I wanted to dye my own yarn. So it's a tonal black, because let's face it, black is hard. Kind of like red. Black and reds in the yarn dyeing world, from what I understand, is very hard. But this is a black. It's very tonal. You can tell it's very tonal. Yeah. But I think those would be great together. This is like not, pink is not my favorite color, but it's very close. My favorite color is cerulean. And if you know, you know. Basically, it's blue. But it's a pretty blue. Anyway, but those are going to be so fun together. I cannot wait. It's just going to be a basic sock, but this one's going to be a pair of socks for me. Usually what I do is I'll make a pair of socks for me and then a pair of socks for mom. And since I do heel, toe, and cuff of alternating colors, usually I can get 2 pairs of socks out of something. This is going to have a little bit of color chart or color work in it. I'm just trying to decide whether I want... I have a few ideas. Like I found this dancing skeleton that I liked. Yeah. I have some ideas. Like if I could get a squirrel pattern that was in the right size. Finding the size for me, if I'm just trying to insert a color work chart into something, I want it to be, I'm very specific about things. So like I found a moose, again, supernatural moose and squirrel, and I found a moose. He was 16 by 16. Perfect. For a 64 cast on, yes, please. However, the squirrel I found, he's like 22 stitches wide. I don't know. I don't know if I could maybe connect. I don't know yet. I gotta think about that one. So this one might be my dancing skeletons. Why I can't say skeleton? Yeah. I do all my knitting on 9-inch circulars, and then when it's time to work on like the toe, I take my 9-inch circulars and put them on a little bit of a longer cord and finish them that way. So they're magic loop, but with my 9-inch circular settings. I don't know if that makes sense. And then I Kitchener stitch the toes. So tried to get some B-roll of my Kitchenering the other day, and that did not work. So anyway, I have a plethora of ideas that I want to do. The other scheme that I've got kind of actively planning right now, and I know I'm going to get grief for it, but hear a girl out because she's got a lot of yarn to use. I made flax by Tin Can Knits, I want to say, and I've made it twice so far. I made the first one for my mom. She lost a whole bunch of weight. So did I. So she gave me the one I made her, and then I made her a new one. And I have learned now, having made 2 of those, that I do not enjoy doing the garter panel on the sleeve because I will always mess it up, no matter what. And I've done it twice. I messed them up on both sweaters. So when I do make another one, it's just going to be a basic sleeve. So sorry, Tin Can Knits. I was wearing it, the one my mom gave back to me the other day, and I just loved how it felt. But it was so big on me. It was nice and cozy because it's huge. So I had bought some yarn, just your basic Caron Simply Soft. Yes, it's acrylic, but so far I've made 2 of these sweaters with said yarn, and they hold up beautifully. But I found this pink. This is the colorway Blackberry. So it's kind of on screen it's really pink, but it's more of a lavendery pink, a dusty, like a purpley toned pink. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but here we are. But I'm gonna make probably the flax again with it, or I want to do, I think it's called Stardust or Starlight, by the Dyer Dragon Horde Yarns. I have her pattern. I don't know if I want to do it or not. It's got some detailed patterning on it, and I have never tried that. I've only ever made like 3 sweaters ever. Yeah, ever. I started making a hoodie in November, and I ended up I was literally on the ribbing, and I ended up having to frog the entire thing. Not because the pattern, not because the yarn, because I still have the yarn. Personal things happened, and so I had to plan B it. And I couldn't just repurpose the thing I'd already made because it was too big for anybody I know. So that yarn will be put to good use. Just gotta find the right thing. Might end up redoing, just making the hoodie for myself. I don't know. I have so many hoodies. I don't need more hoodies. It is what it is. I am a curator of yarn bowls for some reason. I seem to collect them. And when I say I collect them, either people gift them to me or I find some really cool ones. I have painted 2, and I have been gifted 1. And then I paid for a 3D and it's in another room right now. I have a yarn bowl, and I cannot stress how much joy it brings me. I have a yarn bowl in the shape of the Death Star, 3D printed. I love it. My most prized one right now is the one I got for my birthday from Julie, again, of Craft by Nerdy Love Designs. It is 3D printed, and it doesn't do justice. You can kind of tell here, but it's a color shift. It is a skull. And I love this thing so much. Like, I just love it. I geek out on really weird things, and that would be one of them. Okay. So that is all the crafty stuff going on. What am I reading or listening to? Let's talk books. I have been reading the Ruinous Love trilogy. I am finally on Scythe and Sparrow. It took me over a year for unknown reasons to finish Leather and Lark. The books are amazing. I love them. They're wonderful. They're fun. They're exciting. They keep you interested in them. Lots of spice to them. It takes you a little bit to get to the spice, and I'm okay with that because I like a good backstory. I'm finally in Scythe and Sparrow. Yes, Scythe and Sparrow. Bryn Weaver is the authors. Yeah, I don't typically try to remember all these things, so I'm on that. I have the physical book versions, but I am listening to it because I can do that in the car. Or if I'm cleaning around the house or working on with my plants or whatever, I can just put on an audiobook and just go. And I am very particular about my audiobooks because I have a thing about noises. If people click their tongues or smack or just sounds just no, it's not for me. This table is very sensitive. It's making the camera move. I apologize. Anyway, but that is what I'm reading / listening to. Other than music, of course, because I love music. Just love music. We're already planning for Rocklahoma for this year. If you don't know what Rocklahoma is, it is a 3-day music festival for Labor Day weekend in Oklahoma. So it's usually hot or wet and rainy. There's no happy medium. But we're already planning. This year's the 20th anniversary of it. Cannot wait. I've only so far this coming year will be my 3rd year going with family. First year I went was with my oldest nephew Scotch, and it was Disturbed and Evanescence and Avenged Sevenfold, all the bands I'm here for. Slipknot was even there. Last year I went with my brother and Scotch and my middle nephew Cannon, and it was his first concert, and I gifted that to him. He had an amazing time because his favorite band, Five Finger Death Punch, was there, and we just all the feels. It was a great time. And so this year, being the 20th anniversary, I'm very interested to see who they're going to announce as the lineup. And my brother already has his picks. I need to look into mine to see what I think because it's going to be announced in the next few weeks. So, more to come. But we are already going. It's already in the books. So, yay. Small business update. I do own a small business. It's Carnal Designs, Carnal with a K. I do have an online store, and local people can purchase from me at the Wandering Magpie in Owasso, Oklahoma, but most of my stuff is online. I do a lot of personalized option products like bookmarks and what I call mirror messages. Check out my site if you'd like, carnaldesigns.com. It's whimsical and festive, and I am not a web designer, so I apologize in advance. Yeah. But yes, I would greatly love it if you would take a few moments. Anyway, so growing things. Currently, I have a lot of peppers growing. I have one tomato plant growing, and I have a cucumber plant, but it's hard to do cucumbers inside because you have to hand pollinate them all. Anyway, but I do have a whole bunch of succulents. I'll take some B-roll footage and enter it here for you in a little while so you can see it. But my growing things are growing. I probably should be starting seeds to plant for outside, but I ain't got the room for that. Or anywhere to put them right now on the outside when it is time to transplant them. I would love to get some raised beds made outside, but one step at a time. Last year I focused on a fire pit instead. That's where my priorities were. Anyway. So question for you. I had mentioned earlier that I am not a yarn snob. I will use the acrylics and the cottons, but I'll also use the nice fancy indie dyed yarns. I love me some indie dyed yarns. I'm actually waiting on an order from Sandhill Yarns. If you don't know about Sandhill Yarns, it's extremely hard to get a hold of, but every skein of yarn that they offer is $15. No joke, $15. I've got 2 skeins from them now, and I have 2 skeins coming. I messed up my mailing address this last time, so they're fixing that for me. I'll get that eventually. I was supposed to got it yesterday. Yeah, then found out my address was wrong. Go Amanda on that one. So yeah, but yeah, if you're looking for a very reasonable hand-dyed yarn, they do a yarn drop on Sundays at 4 p.m. and they sell out in minutes. I'm talking minutes. They started off, they only did like 30 to 50 skeins per week, and now they're up to like 300 because they moved into a warehouse. It is a it's a small family. It's a husband-wife team. $15 a skein. I'm not even playing. But your girl will also spend 28 or more if the colorway is pretty enough. And I've had some. So my best friend and I, Julie, went to a supernatural convention this last June because we're both real big nerds. We were going to get our photos done with some of the actors from it, and yes, we did. I'll insert them for you here. I got a photo op with Ruthie Connell, who plays Rowena. Kim Rhodes, who plays Sheriff Jody Mills. Brain is not working, and literally, this is on the screen. Whatever. And then Jensen Ackles, who plays Dean Winchester. Because your girl needed some Dean Winchester in her life, and that man smelled amazing. Just thought you should know. So that being said, we each made something for each other special for it. She made us some t-shirts, and I made us each a pair of socks because I found Fantasy Yarn Co. out of Canada they do different genres, like book genres or movies or shows, but she has 2 clubs. One's called the Daddy's Club, and then the Mommy's Club. I think Mommy's Club might be relatively new, but she had a colorway come out called Daddy Dean. And to tell you that I wasted 0 time and effort in thinking about that, it was an immediate buy. So I made us each a pair of hand knit socks with the colorway Daddy Dean. I'm here for them. I still love those socks. I think I have almost phased out normal socks, and I only wear my hand knit socks. I'm literally wearing a pair right now. I think I'm wearing Wing Leader from Dragon Horde Yarns right now. I think. Yes, they are. So, if you can tell, I'm a nerd. And I like me some good yarn. I am not a yarn snob, though. I will work with whatever I can tactilely. Is that a word? Tactilely? Whatever. If I can touch it and not cringe, yes, we'll work with it. But the question of the week, and I would love to know your input, is: are you a yarn or a craft snob? And I say craft snob because, again, I don't do like samplers in cross stitch. I do full coverage. I think you need to put effort into it. Yes, people are putting effort into their samplers, but I like aesthetically, I need a purpose for the picture. So that's that. So if I'm offending anybody, I apologize. That is not my intent. I do tend to be a little bit of a cross stitch snob, apparently. It is what it is. So, but that's the question of the week. Pardon me one moment. Sorry, I'm back. Now, I would like to just kind of give a shout out of some of my favorite things, that either podcasts that I watch or yarn brands. And I've already given you several yarn brands, because that's what I've done. But I mentioned the Table 10 podcasts. They are amazing. If you have not checked them out and you're looking for a new set of sisters to watch, there you go. Charm City Unicorns, two really good friends around that same area. I think they're in, I don't remember, they're in the Northeast as well. Great set of friends that do those. Just a lot of good vibes from them. Breathing Yarn, she's really good. She takes you on a journey of her crafting journey, if you will. I recently found the Modern Stitchery. She's very new, but I liked her energy. So, and then I have been a fan, for those that have been around for a while. If you used to follow different YouTubers, they're now named Jude. So Rewilding Jude is one I follow. Used to be Amy. She was a yarn dyer in the UK, now named Jude. But I enjoy watching the journey of Jude in homesteading. It's a good watch. I applaud him for his efforts. So just a few of my favorites that I'm into at the moment. I do like Acre Homestead, so Acre Homestead is good. Becky with Acre Homestead, I enjoy watching her actual planting, like her gardening journey. That she actually got me into gardening. So, and then Epic Homestead and Epic Gardening, because I learn a lot. I need as much knowledge as I can when it comes to anything growing. That being said, I think I've rambled for enough time. Yeah. I'm hoping that this next upload doesn't take me an entire 8 hours to edit and upload, because it took me 4 tries last week to get that thing to edit. Actually, it wasn't the editing. It was when I was uploading it, around the 9-minute mark, the actual audio unsunk itself. I don't even know if that's a word, but it got out of sync. We'll see if that happens again, because when I would go to play it back before I would upload, yeah, I'm just not going to do the straight upload to YouTube. I'm learning how to do all this editing on the fly, because that seems to be how I learn how to do most things, just by fire. Here we are. Chaos. I did promise you chaos. Am I delivering so far? Okay. He's not going to like this, but I want you to see my baby. Oh, look at him. This is Loki. This is my Loki poke. You can see me? Come see me. No? Okay, fine. He was very comfortable, and then I woke him up. Sorry. But the things I do for you guys. You need to see my Loki poke. Anyway, okay, I've waffled enough for you. Now I'm getting all the kisses. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's time for me to wish you all a good night. It is Friday. Is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Wow. It's Friday night. I'm going into the weekend. I hope you have a lovely one as well. This probably won't get uploaded until Sunday, but I hope you had a good weekend by then. So keep it crafty, keep it chaotic, and keep it kind. Have a great night. Sorry if the lighting is not the greatest, but just wanted to give you a tour of my grow rack. So you're going to see 2 layers on all of these rows, because in the wintertime, since the sun isn't as bright, I bring my succulents over here to the actual grow rack, but I have lights, but most of the lights are turning off. So on this rack we have a fan, but we also have 2 pepper plants back here, thriving. Then we have a pepper plant, 2 pepper plants here. Sorry, it's a sugar rush. I have it written on here what they are, but I can't read them right now. And then I have a cucumber plant that is doing what cucumber plants do, sort of. And then I have my 3 of my succulents. This one I got through a WIPS subscription box and damn well taken over. And then this one, I got this one, and this one, and some of the ones down in the next row I got at Home Depot. And they got them when they were like this big. So here we are. Moving down here, we have another pepper plant. Pepper plants are easy, and I'm apparently really good at pepper plants most of the time. Except for chocolate habaneros. I can't get those seeds to grow. I think the seeds were bad. This is another succulent. This pot is the succulent leaves when they fall off. I just put them in one little thing, and I've got little succulents I can gift if I needed to. And then this is a tomato plant that is literally taking over. And I've got 2 tomatoes on it. They're little cherry tomatoes, so yeah, it's taking over. This is my grow rack and the chaos that ensues from it. So yeah, there you go. You've been shown.